command officers and our hazmat team in to investigate it. Upon their arrival, they noted that they did confirm that they had a white powdery substance, so they stepped up the response and they made it a full hazmat response for Akron Fire. Part of that was to call in the Summit County hazmat team to act as a backup force, which they did. So out there you would have noticed a lot of Akron Fire apparatus. Approximately 10 of our apparatus were there, plus another 5 or so command vehicles for us. There was also a lot of equipment from Summit County. The Summit County hazmat vehicle was there, and then multiple agencies from Summit County sent their folks in to be part of their hazmat team. So they performed backup for us. Further investigation showed that we had a person who had been exposed to the white powder. We went in, evaluated that person. That person was stable. There was nothing wrong with them, but they still had the white powdery substance on them. So at that time, our folks that went in were fully encapsulated in Tyvek suits with breathing apparatus, and they were able to evaluate the person. The person was very stable. They did a gross decontamination in the area, which got the powdery substance off of her, put her in a Tyvek suit, and then proceeded to bring her out. They determined through field sampling that the substance was nothing that was immediately dangerous to life or health. And that's not a laboratory analysis, it's just a field test. It eliminates things like radiological, biological, explosives. That's what we determined. The young lady who was exposed was escorted out, put into one of our ambulances, and she was sent on into Akron General Medical Center. She was examined and then released with no incident to her. She was okay. Our folks that were, our hazmat team that was inside the room, the mail room, when they were examining the white substance, the white powdery substance, they then found a note. The note indicated that there was a bomb in the federal building. At that point in time, we immediately backed our team out, our hazmat team out, and we started doing some isolation to the area. We evacuated all the buildings for 1 block around the federal building. We moved all of our apparatus back 1 block. So we changed our command post from in front of the federal building to over here just outside of this building where you're at right now on 47 North Main. We brought in Summit County Bomb Squad, and they helped us to coordinate the response of several bomb dogs who would help search out the building. And we left that coordination of searching the building over to the Summit County Bomb Squad. They brought in folks from Children's Hospital, Kent State, ATF, who had these dogs at their as a resource to them. At that point in time, they assembled and did an outside sweep of the facility to make sure there was nothing immediately dangerous, and then they proceeded into the building. That took a bit of time to just get that whole structure searched, and that's what they did for us. At that point in time, all the other resources were staged. We had them all down here staged. All of our apparatus, all of our hazmat teams, Summit County folks, Akron Fire folks, Akron Police, domestic Homeland Security was here, FBI was here. We had them all in what's called a unified command post. So unified command post is something that we set up where we bring the heads of all those agencies in so we can talk and we can coordinate our individual efforts. And that's what we did. APD played a big part in helping us with setting up this command post, this unified command post. So this was all done. It was all a continuing process, the unified command. The sweep of the building just completed. They came back with nothing. So they did have some concerns, which they kind of looked at very closely, but they found nothing. So the building has been cleared. We are just now taking steps to let the folks know in all the surrounding buildings that they can now start to re-enter those buildings. Our hazmat team is now gearing back up to go back into the building to finish what they started, which is a mitigation of the substance that they found. Since we still don't know for sure what it is, part of their job is to secure some samples, bring those out, do some further testing. Once those samples have all been examined, then we'll release folks to go back into the federal building if it is so safe. Our federal partners are looking at what suspect might have done this, but it was quite a large threat that we faced. White powdery substance, bomb, all in the federal building. That's why we did everything that we did to make sure everybody around them, everybody in the federal building, and our own safety forces were secure and safe. So I'm going to open it up to questions at this time, and please, just one at a time, raise your hand, and I'll point to you, and then we'll answer a few questions. Yes, sir.
The white powdery substance, was it found in an envelope, and who was it labeled to?
Yes, it was found in an envelope. The mailroom opened the envelope. I do not know who it was addressed to. That will be part of the investigation that will continue on after this. Yes, sir.
How long does it take to figure out what that substance might be? Will they be able to do field tests quickly inside the building? You said they're re-entering to figure out what it is, and do you believe this to be just a hoax?
It depends. They were able to do a test right within the building, so that's a field test. They can bring more out, do more testing, but it's by no means a dedicated lab. But as of right now, we have determined that it is of no threat.
So no credible threat? Do you call it a hoax? What do you call it?
We call it a threat, yes, but we found nothing to be dangerous right now.
Okay.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
can you describe the note that said there was a bomb in the federal building?
No, I cannot. I didn't get to look at it right now. It's in evidence. We just know that our team, our hazmat team, when they were looking at the white powdery substance, the note was there, and they let us know immediately what the threat was, which is very, very important.
Follow up. So there was a note inside that envelope with the white powdery substance?
Yes. Yes.
Any idea as to when it was brought in?
When it was brought in?
When the envelope and or the...
No, we don't know. We don't know that other than the mailroom had discovered it.
Do you
Yes,
know approximately how many people were evacuated out of the federal building and how many people might have been evacuated in the surrounding area?
I do not have those numbers. We evacuated the federal building first, and then right on its heels were the surrounding buildings. We opened up several buildings within the area. John Knight Center, the building you're in, belongs to Children's. There was, I don't have it offhand, but there were multiple buildings open in the area that allowed folks to come in and temporarily house until we could figure out what was going on. A lot of folks simply got in their cars and went home for the day. They probably were just released for the day from working. So, and we're still not done over there. You know, we're still in there, still in the federal building. So it's going to be some time.
This falls under police or federal law enforcement, but are you looking at federal charges for this?
That will be up to our federal partners. I would assume so, but I couldn't tell you that.
Sir, when I got here, people were leaving the buildings, but nobody was hurrying or anything like that. So was that due in part to your assessment that there was no imminent danger at that point?
That was before we even knew there was a bomb threat. When it became evident there was a bomb threat, that's when we stepped it up. You know, what you saw from outside the building was probably very different from what was going on inside the building. I imagine people inside the building were hustling a bit quicker. Once they got out the doors, they probably felt a little safer.
Where does this investigation go now? The FBI, Homeland Security here, Terrorism Joint Task Force was here as well. Who takes over this investigation?
I couldn't tell you that. It's a federal building, so they would have to figure out whose area of responsibility that is.
Anything like this in the recent history? Bomb threat, white powder, any kind of threat like that?
Here in the city of Akron, we've experienced those types of things throughout the years. Usually it's one or the other, and we'll bring in our hazmat team, investigate the white powder or threat of that sort. If it's a bomb threat, we'll bring in the Summit County Bomb Squad very readily. the scale of the event the scale of the event was new to us. It was a large scale event, but we're used to handling those type of incidents. Yes.
Can you provide more information on the young woman who was inside? You said it was a young woman who had direct contact with the male with the white substance, and what her job title was?
A lot of folks are young to me, so I couldn't tell you how old she was, other than she was a female that was working in the mailroom. Any additional questions? I'm going to wrap this up.
Have you ever seen a threat where you had a suspicious substance followed immediately by a bomb threat? It's
Not in my experience, no.
how
No.
unusual what is that, do you think? Because I've never seen it.
Here within the city of Akron, it's pretty rare to see both of them combined to the scale that we saw it here at the Federal Building. You know, just to see it on a street corner or something like that's totally different than the setting it was. The place that it was, the Federal Building, kind of really stepped it up for us, made us much more hyper aware. Last question.
Governor DeWine just recently signed into law swatting becoming a felony. Do you think that this could fall under a swatting incident?
I couldn't comment on that. Thank you very much. We're going to wrap it up. Okay. You all have a good day. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We would like to thank everybody for coming out today. We appreciate your help and the job that you do. And you know as well as I do, the Akron Fire Department's #1 goal is the safety and well-being of our citizens and our firefighters. Anytime we can get any other entities in Summit County and in Akron to help us out makes for a better day. So we thank you all for coming out, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I will be sending out a press release to all the people that are on the PIO group email, and if you're not, I will get your name on the way out.
Chief, could
Thank you.
Could you, Lieutenant, the first name of the fire chief? I didn't get
His name is Joe Natko, Natko.
N-A or M-A?
N as in Nancy, Natko.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, thank you.